This is Double D in the Morning, episode 31, the story of Jean Vander Pyl. She was born on October 11th, 1919 in Philadelphia, to John Howard and Kathleen Hale Vander Pyl. Although she started her acting career in 1939, decades before she started her most famous role lasted from 1960 to 1998, and it was Wilma Flintstone. As previously mentioned, her first Hanna-Barbera role was for the show The Flintstones from 1960 until 1966. She was the voice of the wife, Wilma Flintstone. Her character, Wilma Flintstone, was the role reversal gender-wise of the Ralph Cramden character. Instead of the husband being the beating and abusive one, it was Wilma on the Flintstones. She was the head of the family. It was a completely women's lib, if you will, type of thing. She was the head of the family, and she did what she wanted, along with her friend Betty. They did whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. They both had to deal with the stereotypical 1960s of the time period, except it was in a prehistoric setting. She voiced this character from 1960 to 1998, and Wilma wouldn't have been the same without Jean. She was in several different Flintstones that Wilma was in, not just the show. A Man Called Flintstone in 66, A Flintstones Christmas Carol in 93. The character also came back in the 70s on the PEBBLES and Bam Bam show. She also frequently came back in TV movies. Flintstones Family Christmas in the 1970s, A Flintstones Christmas Carol. This is the Flintstones' baby, Pebbles Flintstone. She was also voiced by Jean from 63 to 66. Although Wilma was pregnant with her from 1962 to 1963, she was born on February 22nd, 1963, the blessed event. And Jean also voiced this character from 1963 to 1966. She was also on the Jetsons from 62 to 63, and in the revival from 85 to 87 that happened in the late 80s. Her second character before Pebbles was Rosie the Robot on a different show, The Jetsons. She appears in the very first episode of the very first version of the show in the 60s, in 62, entitled Rosie the Robot. She was the heart and soul of the show. Rosie was a no BS fighter that stuck up for the family, and Jean played her perfectly. Couldn't have played her any better. She was kind of like a robot version of the Wilma Flintstones character that she had played previously. This was a successor show essentially to the Flintstones, and she was a futuristic version of everything that was in the future. She was a 1950s or 60s dress maid, but she was dressed for the future, dressed to the nine as a robot. But she wasn't just the family's maid, she was kind of like a bodyguard for the family. During the 85-87 revival in the 80s, Rosie was also in a spin-off crossover film, The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, where she also played the robot, and Wilma. Even though the original Jetsons reboot ended in 87, her very last time to play Rosie was in 1990 in the Jetsons theatrical series finale movie, The Jetsons the Movie. Although Jean might have only been known for 3 characters, Hanna-Barbera's years with her wouldn't have been the same without her. If you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notification bell to Double D in the Morning. And remember to follow me on my Facebook, my Tumblr, my Instagram, and my TikTok, and my Facebook fan group, Drew's YouTube fan group. The links are in the comments. And if you like this one, don't forget to watch me next Friday for Double D in the Morning, episode 32, History of Cartoons, part 23, the story of Doss Butler.